Hello students, today we are going to learn about the TCP/IP model. Yesterday we were completed our OSI reference model. This is also one of the reference model from your network syllabus. So TCP/IP model was developed prior to the OSI model. Before the OSI model, TCP/IP model is designed. Actually, this is nothing but the properly protocol-based model. Each and every layer is responsible for having proper communication with the help of protocols. TCP/IP model is not exactly similar to the OSI model because OSI model is having hardware software connectivities, but in the TCP/IP model, which is the prior model than OSI model, is only responsible to have a communication between layers with the help of protocols only. It means it has most of software related communication. Okay, so next thing that we supposed to know that OSI model has a 7 layers, but in the TCP/IP model we have 4 layers also or 5 layers also. Why is it so? Because in some syllabus books are included application layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer or physical layer as a 5 layer. Okay, but in there some syllabus chapter we have only 4 layers. So now I can explain you with the help of diagram. This is what the actual comparison between OSI and TCP/IP. So explaining you with the help of diagram is most easier than explaining you with the help of content. So one side we have the 7 layers which are data link, physical, network, transport, application, presentation and session layer. The combination of data link layer and physical layer, which is a lower layer in the OSI model, is corresponds to the host to network layer, which is a lower layer of a TCP/IP model. You can see on your screen one diagram which shows the data link layer and the physical layer corresponds to the host to network layer. The combination of data link and physical layer forms a host to network layer. Network layer is same as OSI model of network layer. It works same as OSI model network layer, which is the second layer in the TCP/IP model. The third layer in the TCP/IP model is transport layer, which is same as OSI model transport layer. And last three layers, which are session layer, presentation layer and application layer, combine to form one application layer. These are the 4 layers which are present in the TCP/IP model rather than having 7 layers in the OSI model. So which are those layers present in the TCP/IP model? The lower layer is nothing but the host to network layer. The second layer is nothing but the network layer or internet protocol layer. And third layer is nothing but the transport layer, and fourth is application layer. So we call the TCP/IP model has 4 layers. So you all are remember that TCP/IP model has 4 layers. Okay, so as I have told you that TCP/IP model is totally based on the protocol communication. So for the protocol communication, I mean you know that protocol is nothing but the set of rules, and those protocols that are present in each layer are differently working in the different layer. So in the application layer we were having FTP, which is nothing but the file transfer protocol, DNS, which is nothing but the domain name server protocol, HTTP, which is nothing but the hypertext transfer protocol, SMTP, which is nothing but the simple mail transfer protocol. These protocols are present in the application layer, which are mostly important for having a direct communication or message transfer communication in the application layer. It's totally work on the application. Next thing is in the transport layer, work of transport layer is end-to-end transmission of data. For that we use a TCP, UDP and SCTP. TCP is nothing but the transmission control protocol, UDP is nothing but the user datagram protocol. We will discuss it in later on in brief. So you just remember that these protocols are used in this layer. Network layer uses ICMP, RARP, IP protocol. It is most important protocol because message is actually routed. You know why network layer is work. Network layer work on the sending packets in the proper route from sender to receiver side. So ICMP, ARP is nothing but the address resolution protocol. RARP is a reverse address resolution protocol. These are the some protocols used in this network layer. IP is nothing but the internet protocol. Next, this protocol is used to having a proper communication in the TCP/IP model. Okay, so let's have brief discussion on each layer. So host to network layer. A network layer is the lowest layer in the TCP/IP model, or it is a combination of physical layer and data link layer of OSI model. So you remember that. Next thing, it sends physically data through the network. It is basically work as a lower layer, which is nothing but the physical layer and the data link layer. So you remember what is the functionality of the physical layer and data link layer. Physical layer is responsible for having a proper communication link maintained between the sender and receiver, and data link layer is responsible for sending the data packets from sender to receiver. You remember that? Error correction, error detection, all these are done in the data link layer. These are the functionality. You have to just remember that the same functionality is provided in the host to network layer in TCP/IP model. The basic functionality is same, but the protocol that were used in the layer are different. Okay, so the function carried out by this layer is encapsulating the IP datagrams into the frames. It is responsible for having or mapping the IP address into a physical address. Okay, then protocol used in this layer, host to network layer, are token ring, Ethernet and FDDI. Okay, the next layer, which is internet layer or a network layer. Internet layer is also called as a network layer of TCP/IP model. This is the second layer of internet or TCP/IP model. Internet layer or a network layer is the second layer of TCP/IP model. Okay, its main responsibility of an internet layer is to send data packets from any network to route in the destination of another network. So from sender to receiver, it can help you to give a proper route to send your data. Okay, the protocol those are used in this layer are IP protocol, which is nothing but the internet protocol. And second thing is ARP protocol, which is nothing but the address resolution protocol, and this network protocol is used to find the physical address from the IP address. By knowing the physical address, we can find out the IP address with the help of address resolution protocol. And the third protocol that used in this network layer is Internet Control Message Protocol. It is a mechanism that used by the host or routers to send a notification regarding your datagrams or packets, which is sent from sender to receiver. So now you understand why we use ICMP. ICMP sends the notification regarding your datagrams or your message. ARP is nothing but the address resolution protocol, which is responsible for finding the physical address from the IP address. Okay, so these are the protocols which are used in the second layer of TCP/IP. The third layer of TCP/IP is transport layer. The transport layer is responsible for reliability, flow control, correction of data, which is very important. Reliability is provided, flow is maintained, and the correction of data is possible with the help of transport layer. There are two protocols are used in the transport layer, which are user datagram protocol and transmission control protocol. You call it as a TCP and UDP. In your exam they might be asking you the difference between TCP and UDP. So you have to find out the difference between TCP and UDP. I am not going to provide you. I am giving just some point of difference between TCP and UDP. So user datagram protocol is nothing but the connectionless services, end-to-end delivery of transmission. But in transmission control protocol is a connection oriented protocol. So you have to remember this, that UDP is a connectionless protocol, TCP is a connection oriented protocol. UDP is unreliable protocol because discovery of error is not specified in UDP. But in TCP, discovery of error is possible. So because of that, TCP is a reliable protocol. Next thing is user datagram protocol discovers the error with the help of ICMP protocol. But in the transmission control protocol, sender end TCP/IP divides that message into some small unit and gives them some checkpoints or sequence number. Okay, and reorder in the order, and in the receiver side collects those order, manage those order, and arrange those order. So message is sent properly. So these two totally different mechanisms used in the transport layer to send data from one end to another end. Okay, so the last layer of TCP/IP model is application layer. Application layer forms with the help of three layers in the OSI model, which are presentation layer, session layer, and application layer, combined to form application layer in the TCP/IP model. This is the topmost layer in the TCP/IP model, responsible for handling high-level protocol issues or issues of representation. Representation and the high-level protocols are maintained in the application layer. Next thing, that it is responsible or it is allowed the user to interact with the application. Directly those applications were installed in your computer are communicate or have interact with user with the help of application layer only. So main protocol used in the TCP/IP application layer are, first is HTTP, which is nothing but a hypertext transfers protocol. This protocol allows us to access the data over www. Okay, SNMP, which is nothing but the simple network management protocol, It is framework used to manage the devices on the internet using the TCP/IP model. Next is SMTP, which is nothing but the simple mail transfer protocol. It helps us to use email facility in online platform. Next is DNS. DNS is nothing but the domain name system. It is also maps the name to the addresses of system in the network. Next thing, Telnet and FTP. You know why we use Telnet? Basically, the Telnet is nothing but a terminal networks, and it is established to have a connection between the local computers and the remote computers. You know that because widely we use Telnet. And next thing is FTP, which is the file transfer protocol, which helps us to transfer the files from one computer to another computer. So these are the protocols were used in application layer. So now you understand TCP/IP model. Let's conclude first TCP/IP model. Okay. So TCP/IP model has a 4 layers. It is a developed prior the OSI model. First layer of TCP/IP model or lower layer of TCP/IP model is host to network. Next network layer. Next third layer is transport layer, and fourth layer is application layer. The host to network layer is the lowest layer, which is a combination of physical layer and data link layer of OSI model. It is most important layer. The protocol used in this layer are Ethernet, token ring, and FDDI. Next, second layer of TCP/IP model is internet layer or network layer. It has IP, Internet Protocol, ARP, Address Resolution Protocol, ICMP, which is nothing but the stands for Internet Control Message Protocol, etc. Next thing, third layer, which is transport layer. It is responsible for reliability, flow control, and correction of data. It has two important protocols. First is UDP and next is TCP. And last layer, which is nothing but the application layer. Application layer is the topmost layer in the TCP/IP model, and it is responsible for high level communication of protocol and issue of representation. The protocols those are used in the application layer are HTTP, SMTP, HMMP, SMTP, DNS, Telnet, and FTP. Okay, so now you understand what is TCP/IP is. So let's have a most important question asked in your exam is difference between TCP/IP and OSI model. So first difference is TCP/IP refers to transmission control protocol and OSI refers to open system interconnection protocol. TCP/IP has 5 layers or 4 layers. I told you that TCP/IP has 4 layers. So you can learn it as 4 layers. OSI has 7 layers. TCP/IP is more reliable. OSI is less reliable. TCP/IP does not have very strict boundaries, but OSI has strict boundaries. Okay. So TCP/IP follows horizontal approach, but OSI model uses vertical approach. TCP/IP uses both sessions and presentation layer in the application layer itself because it has combination of session, presentation, and application layer. But in the OSI model, different sessions and presentation layer are present. TCP/IP develop protocol then model. TCP/IP first develop a protocol and then model, but in OSI model develop first model and then protocol. Transport layer in the TCP/IP model does not provide assurance delivery of packet, but in the OSI model transport layer provides the assurance of delivery of packets. TCP/IP model network layer only provides connection-based services, but in the OSI model, both connectionless and connection-oriented services are provided. Next, last but not the least, protocol cannot be replaced easily in the TCP/IP model. But in the OSI model, protocol are better covered into easy to replace with the change in the technology. So these are the difference between TCP/IP and OSI.